Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. Myself, Viraj Utekar, I am a certified software testing professional and I have contributed my QA skills with Tech Service. For more information about me, you can follow my portfolio link mentioned in below description. This session will be on complete XSS. We will understand XSS from theory point of view, how we can identify it on website, what could be its impact. So let's jump into it. Before understanding what exactly is XSS, we need to understand first of all the client server architecture. So, what is a client? A client is a user machine basically that sends a request to the server. So, what is a server now? Server is a machine that is located onto the remote location. So why do we need to follow this client server architecture? The main reason is that the clients and server is connected to each other only to transmit the data over the network. So in order to transmit the data over the network, we have to identify each machine uniquely. So for that, each machine over the network has given or has been allotted a unique IP address. So using this IP address, the communication between the client and server happens efficiently. So in this client server architecture, the client sends a request to the server and the server listens to the client request and sends the data for for which the client has requested for. So here this is the workflow of a client server architecture. Now let's understand what is XSS. XSS is also known as a cross site scripting attack. This type of an attack are usually performed by the suspect on the client's browser. So it impacts the client side interface. This type of an attack doesn't have much more impact on server side because server doesn't keep information about the client side interface. So through this definition, we can say that uh, XSS is basically an attack that happens on the client side itself. So this attack doesn't go onto the server side, or this server doesn't have much more impact of this XSS attack because the server doesn't keep like what exactly is going on to the client side interface. So the malicious attacker can inject this some malicious code into the client side browser, and he can send that crafted URL of this client side of this application to the victim user. Now once the victim user gets that particular crafted URL, he and once he click on that link and he redirects to this page, when the page if that page contains a malicious code, then it will execute that malicious code suddenly once the user lands on that page, and that particular type of an attack is known as a reflected XSS. If that if the attacker has created a code in such, or he has injected a script in such a way in the after by keeping it hidden in the part of an particular event or an element. So we will understand this with by going with practical session. So basically let me give some uh, practical view of how this reflected accesses happen. So here I have taken a web application. So basically uh, yeah, this web application is particularly meant for the pen testing purpose. So in this web application, you can see there are the multiple web elements where we will be majorly focusing on the search field element. But here the point to be noticed that XSS is not limited to the search field element. We have to ensure and we have to validate each and every possible elements that we can see on the web page to check whether that element is vulnerable to XSS or not. So what exact is the meaning of search? What exactly is the functionality of this search field? The main functionality of the search field is to filter out from this list and return the value that we have searched for. So if we search for an app of particular value, it should return me with the result for the searched value from this list. Now we will search for the value that is not available into this list. You can see we are getting no list of products because we do not have any product name with this value. But one thing is to be observed in this URL, the query parameter is also been reflected for the value that we are entering into the search field. So now in this we will try to inject our script. So as you can see, it is not reflected on the web page. That means the application has basically control or on this particular somehow control on this XSS. You can see from the URL, there is the URL is been encoded. So we will try some other medium and check whether really this field has control over this XSS attack. So we will try another. Let me refresh this page and just try another element, that is image, no sorry, svg on load equal to javascript colon alert, and just try to hit enter. As you can see, there is some changes being seen on the page. That means the page has been reflected with certain changes. You can see this has been expanded like below more, and also the URL is been there has been change into the URL. So what this attacker he will do? He will cleverly copy this link. He will open his mail and he will send this crafted URL to victim user. Now once victim user receives this crafted URL, he will think that this URL is from legitimate site. So once he click on that URL, he will redirect to this page, where this page contains a malicious code, and which it reflected as soon as the user land on this page and he displays that particular malicious code. And as a part of this demonstration, we have just given a simple script that to display the alert message. So here it has successfully been executed. So yes, this is the reflected XSS. Now we will understand what exactly is a DOM based XSS. So DOM based XSS happens when a threat actor modifies the document object model environment in the victim's browser. So while the HTML itself doesn't change, the code on the client side executes differently. This type of an attack is also sometimes referred to as a type 0 XSS. So what exactly is DOM based XSS is? Uh, as you have seen from the previous example, we are entering some HTML element. Now in DOM based XSS, this entered script will store somewhere into this DOM. Now, what is DOM? This DOM is nothing but a document object model. It basically defines the structure of our web page. So now we will insert one element, that is anchor tag, with an href value. Click here. Okay. Okay. First of all, we will get some product that is not available in the list. Yes. Now we will try to insert an anchor tag element, and within this we will enter certain malicious code. Let's check. Yes, it has been reflected. So now you can hover over this element. You can see this particular injected script is been sitting into this DOM element. Now what this attacker will do, he will cleverly copy this link from the URL, and he will open his mail list, or he will open his mail and he will send this link to victim user. And once the victim user receives this mail and he clicks on this particular link, he redirects to this basically malicious injected codes site. And once he identifies this URL, he doesn't know that there is something malicious being injected behind this URL. So when he tries to click on this URL, the script is being getting executed, and the victim the victim sessions can be get tracked by the hacker script, etc. So yes, this is a example of DOM based accesses. Now we have to understand what is stored based accesses. Now for the stored based accesses, so what is a stored based accesses? Store-based accesses generally occurs when the user input is stored on the target server, such as in a database, in a message forum, visitor log, comment field, etc. And then the victim is able to retrieve the stored data from the web application without the data being made safe to render in the browser. Now, one thing you have might identify that we had said that XSS is a client-side scripting attack. So, how in this store-based XSS the request has been going to the server, and and then we have to validate that this been this particular attack, this particular feature is been or element is been vulnerable to store based accesses or not. So let me give one uh, let me explain to a diagram. So what we have said that accesses is only applied to this client side interface. That's true, that's true, and here is a server on other side. So in store based accesses, suppose there is one feature, a comment section, comment section. Now in stored base accesses, when user enters some comment, the JavaScript on its side, first it will sanitize the user input that has been sent to the through the comment. Once it sanitizes and identifies if there is any malicious code or script into it, it will filter out that script part, and remaining part, that is comment, will be sent to the server. Now here the data will be inserted, the proper data, that means where there is no script involved, script tag involved, no HTML or no HTML tag involved, only the filtered data, or only the sanitized data, it will be sent to the server, and server will store it into the database, into its into its database DB. And now the stored data will be retrieved and fetched within this comment list. So if this so this is how it works. So basically the sanitization happens on the client side itself uh, through the script. So basically if the script fails to validate the suspicious code onto onto the client side, then this script, this malicious code can reach to the server, and it can affect the server too. Also it can, as the data has been stored into the database, the reflected data, the malicious data that has been stored into the database, it will be reflected into this comment list. Now here the comment list, even if we open after a month or after years, whichever the user will come over this comment list, he will be affected, because this script is will be reflected to all the user who are accessing will be accessing to this comment list. So here, to understand it more clearly, I had taken one another web application. This is best example for uh, to understand a DOM based accesses. Now you can see here is one comment section given. So here I will first try to insert a normal comment, or yes. So here you can see here is one normal comment. So in this, what is happening is that user accessing the comment section, and comment section, once he enter the proper detail, let me check this. Once he enters the proper detail and he clicks on submit, the comment details has been sent to the server, and server stores it into a database, and that this data has been retrieved as a part of a comment list. But similarly way, if I try to inject some malicious code, let me inject one element and check whether it is reflecting. Hello. So I have entered one a normal HTML element, and yes, you can see the element that has been entered has been reflected into this comment section. Now let us try to inject script. that means a malicious code, and let us try to check whether this comment section or this client side script is handling able to handle this particular malicious code and able to filter out and sanitize this script part and only accepts only sanitized data and retrieve me the proper sanitized data without being getting infected. No, the application fails. That means the application is the comment section or this application is vulnerable to store this XSS because the script that is running onto the client side it fails to sanitize the input that we are giving, and it has been reflected and stored a malicious code into this comment section. So whenever if any user who comes onto this comment section, he will be affected with this malicious script. So this is the stored base XSS, and yes, this much from my side. Thank you.